get your Moodle back. Okay, so we are now recording. So today we're going to talk about MATLAB, and especially this problem that was given to us about how to, now it's hiding on me, sorry, about how to do this, to basically plot test values versus theoretical values. So what I did was, as soon as I pull this up, I'm going to show you, I'm going to pull you back to this exact same screen that I had before, and then we'll talk about what we talked about last time, and then I'll sort of go on to the next. But so here's the spreadsheet. This probably looks familiar, where we had these 6 values, and then we had this theoretical expression of what we thought those 6 values would yield for a test point of 9. And then what the goal was to do this experimental run and then compare it to the average of these 4 test runs. So we put in this data and then we averaged it. Then we calculated this for each one of these points at a test value of 9. And what we got was this little plot that shows us the perfect or the theoretical value versus the experimental value in gray. So the experimental value is gray, and you can see it's a little bit choppier, but the blue value shows that curve that's generated from the equation. That's why it looks perfect, because
that's why it's perfect. Okay.
Because it's always perfect. That's right. When you until you introduce reality into it. Okay.
Yeah.
So the next thing I wanted to show you on the spreadsheet is I wrote the code, and Michelle, I was telling Jerry Lynn, I just wrote the code today because I haven't been in Excel, or I haven't been in MATLAB for a couple of years. So I wanted to go through it and see what you guys were going to be up against. But I've got the code over here, and then I'll show it to you in the MATLAB environment and what my output looks like. So you can kind of see it all from the beginning. But so there's just a couple of different things here, and anytime that you have a question, just let me know. But of course, anything that starts with the % sign is just a
comment, right?
Yes. So I'm just trying to tell myself, like, thinking about what I'm doing.
Do you care if I take a screenshot?
Yeah, please do. And you'll get the video of this too, but please take all the shots you want.
I'm gonna print it out, and
yep,
then I can follow better, maybe.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So the code just basically says, the first one, we have an input variable that I'm calling S. And okay, here's another thing. So this is a MATLAB program that I wrote a long time ago, a couple years ago, that actually worked. And it had an input. So that's why I copied it here, so that if I started going down some weird rabbit hole, I could go, oh, this is what I did before. But so what's the desired input value? And then, so these 2 lines, the type of input, and then the S just says that the user is going to put in that 9, or you could make it any other number, but basically that it's not fixed into the program, that the user is going to get, you're going to ask for that,
you
and then
can
get
add
it.
Right.
Okay. So then I could not
put in another test value, is what you're saying.
Exactly, because maybe you'd want to do a 7 or a 4 or something like that.
Okay.
Now the other thing is, if you remember this equation, 1 minus 1 over e raised to the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I could not make this work in one statement. I'm sure somebody could, but I had to do it in several different steps, because otherwise I just kept getting errors. So what I did was I broke it down, and I said, the first thing I'm going to do is set up this array. And the array is called X, and it goes from 1 to 6 by steps of 6.
Okay.
So, or it goes from 1, it starts at 1, has a step value of 1, and then ends up at 6. So in other words, that's right. That's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. And then I broke up that equation where I said the matrix Y, or the array Y, little y, is going to be the e raised to that X, whatever that is, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then capital Y is the reciprocal of that. And then Z is 1 minus that. So by the time I get to Z,
where's the,
that's, show you, that's this right here. Okay, so that's my whole formula thing. Okay.
Okay.
Then the next thing I have to do is to multiply Z by that value of 9 that we input, which is S. So then this line right here is where I create that array that's just ZZ is equal
Oh,
to
multiplied
S,
by 9.
the input value times, yeah, times the rest of that stuff. Okay. So then, okay, so then here was another little thing, and I don't know if Dr. Floyd intended this or not, but so our test array, the test values, there's 6 of them, right? And the perfect values, there's 6 values. But for the test points, there's only 5 values.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
so I had to build another little array that went from 1 to 5 with steps of 5. Because when I'm going to plot them, I need to plot the
Oh,
test
yeah, I
values.
noticed that. Yes. Okay.
Right. So that was just my way of compensating for
Honestly,
that. because-
that's all I figured out was how to build an array.
Excellent. Well, and they're really weird when you don't know. And so the other part is that with this, I want to make a point. I only put in, because I wanted to get that average value of the test points, but I only did 2 of them. So I did 2 test runs.
Oh, yeah.
Because I didn't want to do, yeah, so I did this top row and this. But if you were going to do this, you'd actually do 4, right? You'd build T1, T2, T3, T4,
Right.
and then T average would be T1 plus T2 plus T3 plus T3 divided by 4. Yeah.
So I was so confused about that. You know, I was just trying to watch videos and I don't know. But how does T1 plus T2, but how does it do the 7.48 and all that? How does that know that?
You mean like
how does it keep doing it?
Right, it's because an array is an ordered number.
Okay.
So when you say T average and it's based on 2 matrices, it does the first values together divided by 2 becomes the first value. Yeah.
Okay.
And see, that's why it wouldn't work. That's such a good question though, Michelle, because that's why it wouldn't work when I was trying to plot the experimental values versus the test values, or the perfect values versus the experiment values, because they don't have the same number of points. And so the arrays were going, I can't do anything with it.
Figure this out. Okay.
Right. So I did, that's why I did a Y. So my Y is what I'm going to plot the test values against, the experimental stuff against. And my X is what I'm going to plot the perfect values against. So, because there's 6 points of perfect.
I got you. That's where you're getting the blue line and the gray line then.
Exactly. That's exactly right. Then what I found out was to put them on the same plot.
Yeah.
You plot one versus the other. I plotted X versus.
That's interesting.
Yep. But you use this command in the middle, which I had never known before, which is hold on. And then it puts both of them on the same graph. So hold on. So I asked for a plot of X versus ZZ. And then I asked for a plot of Y versus T average, but it didn't want to do it. And then when I found out this hold on command, it's like, then it'll put them both on the same, the same graph. So then last I gave it a title and then the legend. Okay. So let me show you what it looks like over here in MATLAB, because this is exciting. All right. So, and I can clear this, but so here's I just went into the online environment and I wrote my code right here. And then when I wanted to run it, all I do is I just hit this run. And you see it asks me at the bottom, what's your desired test value?
So if you put 9 in, then it'll show up.
That's
the
it.
array he wants or whatever.
Yes. Yep. And see what it does? It shows me what my Z values are. These are the ones that I calculated and they are identical. I checked that to the ones that I calculated in Excel. So I knew that I got the formula right after all those steps. And then my Y value, here's my T1 and my T2. Of course, you'd have, like I said, T1, T2, T3, T4.
Right.
And then here's my T average.
Okay.
And so then here's the plot, the figure that it came up with. So compare the theoretical values.
So when we run it, will it automatically show us that graph?
No, you have to, that's a great, it'll show you the graph as long as you do this. You do the plot, hold on plot. That's what generates the graphs. And then I just gave it the title and the legend. So it would have names up here. So.
Oh, legend. Oh, I see. And it pops that in like that, huh?
It sure does. Yep. And you don't I
Okay.
didn't have to scale it.
What's
I
this
didn't set
color
my
map?
axes,
It just
nothing.
picks the color for you. Color map. It's
It did yeah, I just said color map, Jet, because it was something I'd done on the other one, and I was like, well, that'll work.
Oh,
So, you know,
that's cool.
I don't know what other color maps there are.
There's a lot of ins and outs. I mean, you really have to, like, I wouldn't even know legend. I mean, I wouldn't know.
Right. Well, and I think that's kind of a problem because you guys, I mean, if you're not math people and you're not used to just some of
No.
these ideas, like what's an array? What's a matrix?
Yeah.
What's a legend? You know, it's
Mhm.
like, how would you even know? You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I got really hung up on the math. I mean, like I told you, I did figure out how to make the array, and that was like, yay!
Yay! That's a big
After
deal.
that,
That's
I
a
know,
big
and then I was
deal.
like, I was gonna get to the average, but the plotting, I'm just like, whoa, this is a very layered problem.
It is. And you know, the funny thing about it, you guys, I had forgotten there's a couple of things that MATLAB does really well. And one of them is this plot was just easy. You know, I mean, it might have been difficult if Ray had said, you know, put grid lines in or make sure that it's
Oh,
red and green or whatever. But I mean,
okay.
just to plot it, it
Okay.
was just a line, you know,
Right.
it surprised me. And it stretched out the axes appropriately, you know, gave me good units over here and
So
all of
can you
it.
put
So,
this in like a K5 situation, like
oh, I
temperature?
know.
Then
Well,
what would
like,
I
here's
do?
one. Let me show you. Let me see. There was one I did that was called a pie chart. Okay, so I'll show you this. Did you guys do a pie chart in your?
No.
Okay, so
Mm.
so this one just builds a pie chart. So this is something that kids might like, you know, like maybe they're out bug collecting and they find
Right.
4 beetles and 3 icky things and I don't know, whatever.
Yeah.
But I did this with
We have a lot of stink bugs right now,
stink
like
bugs,
hundreds
stink
and
bugs.
hundreds of them.
That's right, exactly. So this code right here basically creates a pie chart. So I'll show you and I'll run it. So it says what percent is introductory coursework. So this would be like a college schedule. They just want to create a little pie. So I just went 10. It has to add up to 100, of course, and science 30, and humanities 30, and math 30. Error. I don't know what it did. I did something wrong, but here's what it does. So,
Oh.
you know,
See, I
so,
didn't
I mean,
know
that would
this
be kind of fun.
this. Yeah. Something
Yeah,
simple like that.
Yes.
So how did you change it from a legend to a pie chart? I guess I
very
missed
good.
that.
It's right
Sorry, I'm gonna
here.
mute myself just because the bell's gonna ring.
No, that's great. See,
So-
so it's just pi x. That's how you, I mean, you just make a pie chart by doing that.
Pi X.
Yeah, X is my matrix or my array that I wanted to see. So
Like
if you look at
graph.
X, X is this
Yeah.
array where it's intro, science, humanities, math, and then specialty courses,
Okay.
which I didn't give him
gotcha.
any for. Yeah.
Right.
And see, like if I wanted to run it again, I could go, let's see, I have to come over
Like
here to
five
home
specialties or something.
and then let's see. Maybe the hardest thing is going to be finding out where I run it. Oh, there we go. Okay, so I'll change my percents this time. Let's say if I did 15% introductory coursework and 25% science and 20% humanities. So what's that so far? 25, 35, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. Yeah, and so there you go. So, and it skipped one for me. It didn't let me do one of them, but basically it just changes and shows you those chunks of the pie. And I think students, I think little kids, if they like graphs, they usually like pie charts.
Yeah, for sure. It's real visual.
Mhm.
I mean, you can do this in Python, right? I need to learn Python, and we're going to work on it this spring more.
Yeah. I like
You think
Python
you
really
can do
well.
this in Python or
Yeah.
not?
Oh, yeah, I think so. I think the arrays would be harder to set up. You might have to do
So
things like
MATLAB's known for the plotting, the graphing, that kind of stuff.
Yep. The other thing I wanted to show you guys, I don't know if you have done this or not, but in the in that MATLAB online, they have
MathWorks.
MathWorks. Yep.
Yeah.
Did you guys do the on-ramp thing?
What,
Mhm.
like,
Yeah. So this is very exciting to me, but if you look on the screen here, this, I got to show you. Let's see if it'll take me all the way through. Exit course. Okay. So when you get into MathWorks, they have this, let's see, I want to see if I can find my splash
so
page.
it's online.
Yeah, this is all online. This was just so cool. But oh, it's not. Hang on a second. I gotta.
Is that what
unshare
you
this.
shared with us? Maybe tutorial or no? That's your tutorial.
Well, yeah, it's here for you. Let me show you. I just have to see. I have to remember how to get there. So if you go to MathWorks, mathworks.com. Okay, here we go. All right, let me show you. I'm gonna take a chance that I can get this. Okay, so if you go to mathworks.com, you'll get this screen. And then if you come up here to this tab that says Get MATLAB,
Okay.
there'll be these right here, these online training.
Oh, okay.
And you'll have to log in with your Northwest College credentials, with your email from Northwest College and your
Okay.
password.
Password.
But this MATLAB on-ramp starts it's quick. It's like the whole thing from start to end is like in little 2 or 3 minute modules, and the whole thing is like 2 hours. But it had like
Tells you
everything
how to use MATLAB then.
Exactly.
That's
And
awesome.
so I was really, and this is new. When I did this before, it wasn't
look at
here.
that. Plotting
So
data.
what's that?
Plotting data's on there.
That's it. Oh yeah, so I actually did. And then if you want to get into like really, like
No.
real big deals, right?
No.
But I found it to be
Helpful.
really helpful and
Okay.
really straightforward. And you do little exercises in it, so like
great.
they bring up a screen and then you sort of like put stuff into it, so that
would be
and then it suggests like, nope, that's not quite right, think about this. And then if
Okay.
a couple of times I got like fed up and I'm just like, show me the solution, and it shows you the solution. And
Okay.
so, but I liked it. I thought it was really cool.
Yeah, I'll
So
have to check it out. I didn't even know that. I thought it was that's a little bit overwhelming too, because you type it in and you get page after page of, and I was like,
I
I don't know
know
where to start.
it's
So that's-
awful. Well, and those little modules like that can kind of keep you engaged, I guess is
Yes.
the right word,
Yeah.
where you're not like falling asleep or thinking, oh my gosh, what is going on here, so.
Right.
So what do you guys think? Do you guys have any?
I think you helped us a lot. I feel like, it made a lot of sense to me.
I'm really glad to hear that.
If you didn't help me, I still would send in a banana recipe.
Yeah, honestly, I watched today's, are we recording?
Yes, I'll turn off. We're done talking, so I'm
We're
going to
done,
turn
yeah.
off the thing. Hang on just a second.